All right, we are back. Another solo podcast. And to all the haters who said it wasn't going to happen, well, it's happening. We have a power ranking podcast. We're going to go through tier 1 and tier 2 of our night league. Of course, tier 1 has been going heavy since late April, beginning of May. We're getting toward the end of the season. Tier 2, we just started. Played our first couple of weeks, 2 to 3 games for every team for our summer night league, of course, leading up to the amazing legendary Twillery tournament, which registration is opening very, 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 very soon, like literally very soon. Do I announce when it's opening up here on the podcast? I don't want to judge. Let me put on my WhatsApp. Let's see. Do I announce? Putting it to the group. The registration is opening now on podcast. I'm doing power. It will be hype. Let me know. I'm literally on it right now. I take a picture. Sorry for the flash, guys. All right. Anyways, let's wait for them to respond, and we'll see if I announce when registration's opening. Let's get into the power rankings. We'll start with tier 1. Tier 1, we got 6 teams. Every team's still very much alive for the playoffs. The thing about tier 1 is place 2 through place 6 is separated by 2.5 games, with everyone having, 3 to 4 games left. So really up for grabs. Let's start with number 6. Number 6 in the power rankings, we got Holy Schnitzel. Again, new team to tier 1, Shlomo Ross, Saf Fliegelman, Benji Ashkenazi, really leading the way. Have they had the best year? No. Have they had some games where they were not competitive? Yes. But they also had some really good games. Asaf's an unbelievable pitcher. Asaf threw a no-hitter against Essex one game. And at the end of the day, right now, they're 2-6. They have a huge game coming up this week against Altbank, who's right ahead of them in the standings, a game ahead of them to be exact. They just got to win. 2-6. If they win 3 of their final 4 games, they'll probably find a playoff spot. It's a 4 versus 5 in the play-in game. So they come in at number 6. Coming in at number 5 in the power rankings, I do have, although it is my team, I have Altbank, and that's just due to real lack of tier 1 experience as much as Essex has. Obviously, you have me. I'm a tier 1 guy. Tuvia Blisco pitches in the tier 1 league Sunday morning, but Morty Abitan played tier 1 back in the day, started dabbling around in tier 1 again now. But then you have a lot of guys who, Zaman Pollock and Hell Schwartz, Jason Schlessel, Rafi, Yo Rawson played Sunday morning A, but Staffel, Jake Lichtman, Sandy Berger, a lot of these guys playing tier 1 for the first time. So Sean Prager, also dabbled, but never really played tier 1. So not a lot of tier 1 experience there. However, again, when my team, Altbank, when we play well in the field, it could be anybody. We're 3-5. 3 games we won. I think we held the opponents to 2 or less runs. Granted, 2 of them was against Essex NYC, but we could have easily been better, right? We were up by 2 against Gordon Companies in the 7th inning or 6th inning and fell apart. Against Omnos, I think it was close for a while, and they blew us out. I wasn't playing in that game, but although we're 3-5, could have easily been 4-4, 5-3, and 5 in the power rankings I think is still fair. And coming number 4, and the only reason why they're ahead of us is because I think a more experienced Essex NYC, of course, led by the legendary Huda Koenig, was Zin, who's not, I don't think, playing anymore in the regular season, but I think he was going to play in the playoffs. Chaim Ziegelbaum, Menachem Neumann, David Kuss, Hiller Rokach, all guys who played tier 1. Aaron Felberg, they've all played tier 1 for many, many years. Aaron Erlach, Rudansky. They also have got sprinkles of Meir Gestetner and Meir Gestetner and Yossi Levinger and David Manella, who, again, are not tier 1 guys, but very talented. But overall, I think they have a lot more experience there, especially championship experience between Zin and Rokach, Rudansky, and Erlach. They won all the championship together in tier 1. And like I said, same with us. If they field well, which again, they have, I think, the best defensive team in the league, they could beat anybody. Huda Koenig's had now, although they're 3-4-2, I think out of the 9 games, he's had 5 out of the 9 games letting up 1 run or less, which is absolutely insane. And they're a danger. They're a big force. They have a huge games this coming week. There was a rainout actually, but this coming week, they have a big game against the Lobos at 9:30. So that's a huge game for them going up against the best team in the league right now. We'll get to them in a second. Coming in at number 3 in the power rankings, and although they're 2 in the standings, I'll have Gordon Companies at 3 in the power rankings at 4, 3, and 1. Gordon's a very good team, but Gordon's been very unorganized. They haven't had guys come consistently. They're a little bit of a chalk pot in terms of their roster. Yossi Kaufman's been pitching better as of late. We'll see what happens with that. And they have a very talented roster. You see Miller, Stetner, Cheskietzko, Chiro Zielinski, David Bloom, Glenn, of course, Jakob Weiss, Jonathan Lowinger, so Jack Ross. Very deep roster. However, they've had some tough losses. They've had games where they've scored nothing, 1 run, 0 runs, 2 runs. And I think they, although are 4-3-1 in second place, deserve to be 3 in the power rankings. Coming in at 2, I think they're actually very close to 1. Although they're 4-4-1, the first 3 games of the season, Daniel Ash walked like 8 guys a game. They were missing half the roster. They were literally getting subs in the 12th hour, minutes before the game. This is dysfunctional. Ever since the summer started, everyone says Ash is the summer pitcher, and he really is. Like, he's been absolutely dominating, striking out 4 to 5 guys a game, not allowing more than 2-3 runs a game. It's been really, not walking guys, which is the difference between Daniel Ash being the best of the best and, just being all over the place. And they've been showing up. Noah Aaron and Matt Rosenberg have been playing consistently now that the basketball league's over. So they're a team really to look out for. They're 4-4-1. If they without the first 3 games, they could have easily been 7-1-1. So I think they rightfully deserve to be 2 in the power rankings. And coming in number 1 are the Lobos. Lobos, I think, are the best team in the league. I know Amno's won the championship the last 2 years. But I think if you go this year alone, I just think they're the deepest. I think they're the most talented. Perfect mix of vets who are just legends, and then the young guys. Shuey Hoffman and Adam Hoffman and Archie and Sperling and Archie and Sperling and the Fellbergs and let's see, Weil. It's a very deep team. And then you have young guys like Aaron Scheinbein and Jakob Sabo. It's just a really good mix. They've been clicking on all cylinders, and they're dominating the league right now. They're 7-1. Most of their games haven't even been close. They did have that one game where they were up like 9-0 or 10-0, blew the lead, and ended up winning 11-10, which is a wonky, crazy game. But they're 7-1, and based on the standings, they're 2.5 game lead at second place. That means they win. Their match numbers 2, right? So a win, and then either a Gordon Company or Amno's loss, and they should Gordon. They need their match number is 2. They need to win. If they win 2, they're automatically the 1 seed. If they win 1, and then Gordon, Amno's, or Essex lose 1 the rest of the way, they will clinch the 1 seed. So they could very well clinch it, not this week, but next week. Maybe, yes, this week for double headers, but I think they are by far the most dominant team thus far, and they've really proven it. So that's Tier 1. Again, very deep into the season. Now let's go to Tier 2, and this is our first power rankings of the Summer Night League for Tier 2. Shout out Dunkin' Donuts, not a sponsor. Called Dunkin' now, though, not Dunkin' Donuts, right? Let me first check WhatsApp if they say I should announce it. No one answered me. That's awkward. No one answered me. Hello? Okay. So they still haven't answered, so I still won't announce when registration's opening up. All right. Moving on now to Tier 2 Summer Nights, our first power ranking. This should be a fun one because a lot of new teams. Let me count it here quickly. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, really 5/6 new teams out of the 12. Really exciting, really awesome. Everyone always makes fun of my collars being so bent out of shape. It's my bad. Twillery don't deserve to be treated like this. Love Twillery. There we go. Very easy. Just flick it back in place. The Air Polo. It's got a couple Navy ones. All right. Let's move on to Tier 2. Coming in 12 teams. Very, very, very nice. Yussies, Plumbing, Sewer, and Drains. Now, I'm on that chat. I actually left it today. I helped build a team at the last second. We needed a 12th team and put together a free agent team. Free agent teams are hard. Chemistry-wise, talent-wise, it's hard to put a team together. They're 0-3. Now, they have murderers in a row, and I feel terrible. The schedule is randomized. They played Chimkudery, who one of the top teams in the league. That's David Gottlieb's team. They're playing Crown Care this week. They're playing Twillery. They have a very hard schedule, especially for a team that is the most behind the 8 ball to begin. However, I was on the chat. The vibes are high. They picked up a couple new guys, so we'll see how they play. They're playing Crown Care this week. 0-3, you're really in desperation mode. If you lose this week, you're not eliminated. But you really got to win 3 of your next 4 to stand a chance. Maybe 2 wins get you into a playing game. 3 most likely. So, they're really in desperation mode, and let's see if they come out and play like it. But for now, they're going to be 0-3. Speaking of Yossi's Plumbing, Sewer and Drains, shout out to Yossi Wacholder, who is amazing. Please check them out for any of your plumbing needs. Big shout out also to Ari Schreiber and also Rafi, who've been taking a big lead on making the team work and click and roster construction and lineups and getting the payments in. We really appreciate you. Coming in at number 11, Structural Welders, 0-2 now. They have a decent team. They have a solid, like, they don't have come after the first game, they got, beat bad. Everyone's like, oh, they're going to be terrible. Like, I was there, I was watching their game. They had one or two bad innings. They got to sharpen up their fundamentals in the outfield. They have a very solid roster. Tuvia Blisco is a professional pitcher. Donnie Mazeroski's great. Zalem Pollock's great. Shiro Zelinski's, of course, great. My boy Jonathan Brody at first base didn't really do well at the plate when I saw him, but he's a great first baseman. They have a very solid core. Dove Manny, who's played way back in our first season, didn't play his past, I don't think, but he's a solid player. I don't know. They have a very good very good squad, very good source, very good core. So let's see. They're 0-2 right now, but let's see how they do. Coming in at number 10. Number 10, it's actually funny because I'm looking at the standings, but I promise you I'm not copying the standings. It'll get probably switched as we get closer. Coming in at 10 is Aspire Funding. That's Shia Free. That's a lot of those guys are from Shamai Feldman's team. Aspire Funding so far has played 2 games. Let's see. They've so far played against Shimkudery and Tuileries. So they've had, 2 of the toughest teams, debatably the top 2 teams in the league so far. They have a little blip in their schedule playing Structural Welders, Baby Billy's, Sam at CPA, and Woody Expert. So they have a little blip. No offense to those teams, although Yossi Held's coming off of a championship appearance. So let's see how they do. But again, the first 2 games they lost 5-2 and 8-2. A very solid roster. So let's see how they fare in the next couple of games. But for now, they are number 10 in the power rankings. Coming in at number 9, and this is where the standings don't reflect properly, in my opinion. Number 9. We have Seremian Financial. Now, they're going to get upset at me. Maybe they'll be happy. So they want to be put down. Seremian is 2-2, and credit to them. They beat the teams they had to beat, right? They've had they played 2 easy teams, or not easy, but 2 of the weaker teams, and they played one of the really tougher teams. And the reason why I put them at number 9 is because although they did what they had to do, they beat up on Structural Welders 10-5. They beat up on Woody Expert, who's a middle-of-the-pack team, 12-6. They also lost to 2 of what I consider the better teams in the league. Paul R. Gertelman, 8-7, which was a close game. But the one that really got to me was their game against Crown Care. I know, granted, it was coming off of a game already, and Crown Care is coming in fresh, but it was really a beatdown. It was 12-0. It wasn't even competitive. And we have 4 or 5 of those teams on top of the league. So if they're going to, look through their schedule, Cafe Chocolat, another big test for them next week. Yossi's Plumbing, Sewer and Drains, that hopefully could be a win for them. And then Tuileries. So they're playing again 2 of their next 3 games are against real tough teams, and they continue this trend. And they get the win against Yossi, lose to Cafe and Tuileries. They'll end up at 3-5, and again, probably a play-in game, but not guaranteed. Sorry, not 3-5, 3-4. Probably a play-in game, but not guaranteed. They're a new team. They're awesome guys. They're awesome vibes. They're tons of fun. Matt Rosenberg's brother, Shelby, is on the team. Shelby, of course, the YU legend, top Jewish basketball player in our day, but on the softball field, I make a joke that he's Matt's brother. Anyways, they have a really fun team, an awesome team, a lot of athletes, and everyone tells me, give them more time. Every game that goes on, they're going to get better and better. It was a very obviously disappointing loss to Crown Care, 10-0. So they're going to come in at number 9 for now. Coming in at number 8, we do have Woody Expert. Woody Expert is Craig Stroh's team. Very banged up, unfortunately. A lot of key injuries. Their pitchers hurt. One of their best players are hurt. And that's really it. That's why I have them at number 8. They're a very good team when their whole team's there. They're always deep in the playoffs. They lost in the semifinals last summer. But right now, they're very injured. They're 2-2. And I'm waiting to see if they'll snap out of it. Coming in at number 7, we got Paul R. Gertelman. Paul R. Gertelman, led by Yoel Rossman. They played in the Thursday Night League, which is now the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday Inwood League. They lost in the championship. However, they dominated that league for most part. So they took to the more talented space, I guess, and they've been playing well. They're 1-1. They played 2 games, 2 very competitive games. One game they won 8-7 against Seremian. That's the team we were just talking about. And 2, they lost 15-13 in a crazy shootout to Woody Expert. Very weird game. I would really throw that game out the window. Both teams just played super dysfunctional, a lot worse than their caliber. However, they have a tough schedule coming up. They're playing Tuileries, Baby Billy's, and Cabana. So 3 really, really tough games back to back to back. They then finished the season against two weaker teams, but really tough games, and we'll see how they handle that. But for now, they come in at number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Coming in at number 6, we got Cafe Chocolat. Cafe Chocolat, led by Aaron Goodstein. They were absolutely dominant all season last season. Came to a screeching halt in the playoffs, getting blown out by Yossi Helds. Last season was Extreme Vent Cleaning. Now Baby Billy by Samet, CPA, Baby Billy, Basil Wonker. Got that down. And this year, they're coming in. They're where are they? Coming in at 1 and 1. No, 1 and 2. Sorry. And also they've had a tough schedule, right? They've lost to Chimkudery and Twillery, who are 2 of the toughest teams. Are they 0 and 2 or 1 and 2? I don't know why it's 1 and 2 here. Maybe I'm missing something. Either way, they're a very talented team. Oh, they won 13-2 against Jesse's Plumbing and Drains. And sorry, they've lost to Cabana Living and Baby Billy's. I was looking at the wrong schedule. So they're playing Chimkudery coming up next. Ceramic Financial, Crown Care, and Aspire. Again, 2 teams that are top of the league, 2 teams that are right now toward the bottom of the league. So we'll see how they finish out. But for now, they come in at number 6. Coming in, at number 5. And now we're down to our top 4 teams. In my opinion, these top 4 teams, I think, are a little bit of next level above everyone else. Does not mean that the lower teams could compete with them or even beat them. We saw, Cafe Chocolate last year, we thought were, at one point, at least I thought, was the top team by a decent amount, and they got blown out in the first round. So you never know in softball. But now we're up to the top 4. Coming in at number 4, I do think are Baby Billies. Obviously they made the championship, so that's automatic ranking right there. Last year, Yossi Health always brings a good squad. I saw David Bloom play on that squad, so if he gets eligible, they're even more of a dangerous team. Asaf, of course, is that borderline top of B, low A. So just them right there makes them a legitimate team. They're 2-1. They had a great start to the season. Coming in at number 3, coming in at number. Sorry, that was number 5. Sorry, that was number 5. So the top 5 teams are way above. Coming in at number 4, we got Kavana Living. Now, Kavana Living is a very deep team. They have a very deep roster. A lot of really, really, really good players. Not necessarily any big stars, but a lot of very talented, athletic, young players. You look through their roster, Dovi Geitzels, Chaim Zegelbaum, Menachem Neumann, Eli Sabo, Statfeld, Sach and his kid, and Grunfeld and Schlessel, and our very young, talented, not necessarily stars, but there's very good players. They have had the hardest schedule so far, although they will have arguably the easiest schedule in their last 3-game stretch. So far, they played top 3 of the top teams in the league. And they've gone 2-1. So, from that reason alone, they deserve to get the 4th spot. They lost 3-0 in 9 innings, an absolute crazy game where Slomowitz pitched unbelievable, coming off of a 7-inning shutout where they won 2-0, and then beat Crown Care, who was just a juggernaut, 9-6. So Crown Care, granted, is coming on a doubleheader that week as well. They've had the hardest schedule in the league so far. It'll get a little easier. I could see them easily going 6-1 or 5-2. Coming in at number 3, we've got Twillery. I know it's a bold call. Twillery are the former champs. Golly's going to get mad at me. A lot of people might get mad at me. I think Twillery's a phenomenal team with a phenomenally deep roster. I just think talent-wise, they're just not there with the top 2 teams. Obviously Twillery's phenomenal. They're champions, and good for them. They're so far this season 2-0 as well. So very weird, but I don't know. It's instincts of mine. I maybe championship fever. They almost lost their first game, played very sloppy. They came back at the end. They held on at the end to win. They made a comeback, and the second game they played against a bit of a weaker team in Aspire Funding. Look at their schedule here. Although I'll give it to them, their next 2 games will be tough. Paul R. Gertelman and Crown Care. They also get Chimkudery, so 3 of the next 5 games are very tough. So we'll see how they do. But for now, I'll put them at number 3. A little bit of a bold call and a little bit of a out of the box prediction, but that's what I do. Coming in at number 2, we got Chimkudery. Chimkudery is an awesome team. They're phenomenal. They're 3-0. This is the best team Double Golly's ever brought to Tier 2 league. They're very deep. Yuta Koenig, obviously, playing in the outfield. Not pitching. But he's obviously veteran experience, together with a guy like David Weissman also. veteran experience, and a lot of really good young talent. Gindorf, Jake Epstein, Shlomo Ross, Erickson Flores, another veteran, Yakov Weiss. They have that mix of young talent and then older talent who's just also veterans and leaders who've been there and done that before. Hillel Schwartz, of course, phenomenal. So I think they come in at number 2. And coming in number 1 is Crown Care. Joey Katz has been dying for a championship. He hasn't got one yet. And every year he's building up his roster. And, this legendary rosters: Noah Aaron, Adam Bromberg, Mikey Reinhardt, Sammy Miller, Morty Abiton, Jake Casson's phenomenal pitcher, Mikey Weiss, another great pitcher, Cement playing for the first time at night, Sammy Miller, unbelievable team. Right now, 2-1. I still think they're the most talented team. I think they are the team to beat this year. They just make games look non-competitive. They did lose. They did lose, granted, to Kavana Living. That was on the second half of back-to-back. That was really one inning in which Casson just lost it on the mound, and Kavana Living, as they are a very good team, took advantage. So there's your power rankings, Tier 2 and Tier 1. Let's see if I got any answer in the chat. Let's see. Let's see. All right, I'm going to announce it. People ain't answering me. I'm going to announce it. Breaking news. This is for everybody in the HSL community and beyond. Saturday night, Motzei Shabbos, we are opening registration for the Tuileries tournament. We have 12 teams of 11. A lot of the details are on the link when you go to sign up. That is, if I'm doing the math correctly, 132 spots. First come, first serve. This is a tournament that we are a highly competitive tournament. If you're a competitive guy, you're a talented softball player, you want competition, you want intensity, you want fun, you want an amazing draft party, an auction draft that we're going to be having at the Tuileries store. Everyone is invited to this year. Sign up. If you're someone who just wants to be there to chill, have a good time, this tournament, although, again, it's open registration, we are building this tournament to be competitive, fun, intense. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's softball, and everyone, we don't want to, we're not coming in there with a whip saying lock in, but we want it to be a competitive tournament, right? We want it to have a competitive feel to it. We want the games to be tight, to be close. They're I'm not going to mention any other anything else, but we don't want it to be calm where people are showing up and there's 11 hours a game and people are joking around and drinking a beer in the outfield. Yes, it's fun. It's the best program we've run so far, I think, in our HSL history, but we want it to be competitive. So we implore you and we beg you to sign up. We want you to be involved. This is such a fun tournament that we cannot wait to blow up. We're bringing in the legendary, should I make that announcement yet? That part I'll hold off. Give a little bit of a hint there. But we're bringing in some real awesome personalities to make it awesome. We're doing this event in Tuileries draft where everyone's going to be invited. We're doing hopefully a championship event. But at the same time, we want it to be serious. We want it to be competitive. And we want you guys to sign up to be locked in. We listened to our feedback. 11 players per team, 12 teams now. So a lot of guys weren't up 12 per roster. Anyways, that's the announcement. Looking forward. Have a great Shabbos. And yeah, thanks for listening to the Power Rankings. Bye, guys.